Hi guys, my name is Annasmithers, and I'm a yoga teacher. I teach grown-ups and I teach children. I'm also an author, and I published my book recently. It's a yoga book for children. It's called Yogi Superhero, and it's a really nice introduction of yoga to children. You can get it on Amazon, so if you're interested, you can have a look. It's only $6.99, and it's got beautiful illustrations and poses, and it rhymes, which is really important to me because it's got a rhythm. I'm in the middle of writing the next one, so make sure that you get updates about the new books as well. But today I wanted to talk to you about something different. Today I wanted to talk to you about plastic and why I feel so passionate about my personal war against plastic. And I think it started with my yoga, and it started with my yoga practice. And when you start doing yoga naturally, you start becoming aware of the connection with the environment and with whatever is happening around you, because very often we don't even have time to think about what's happening around us, what is the consequence of our action. We're so used to going to the supermarket, buying stuff, coming home, not even asking the question, where is it coming from, what is it made from, how is it packaged, and so on and so on. It's just when you start becoming aware of everything what's happening around you, this is where the your experience comes into practice, and that's where you start feeling passionate about things. And I think my personal war against plastic started when I started to taste the plastic in the water. I was using a lot of bottled water because it's supposed to be healthier, and it's got minerals and so on and so on. But I swear I started to taste the difference in the water, in the tap water against the plastic bottled water. And since then I just couldn't stand it anymore. Like, my body started to reject it in a way. It wasn't any allergy or anything like that, it's just the taste wasn't right. The same started to happen with the filtered water in my plastic jug, and so on and so on. So anyway, this is where I started to realize that there is an impact of plastic packaging into our food and water. I didn't know that scientifically, I just knew it through experience, obviously. And I started to get to know some more facts about plastic and how does it impact our life and our environment. So why am I making such a big deal about plastic? And you've got lots of research at the moment going on, which is actually based on plastic and microfibers and microplastic itself. It's a fairly new research being done at the moment, because microplastic is everywhere. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but let's start thinking about it. When I was growing up, and I grew up in Poland, packaging like glass and carton boxes, and that was just a standard, that was just a norm. I still remember buying milk in a glass bottle, which was then reused or recycled or whatever was happening to it. It was cleaned, reused, and then it was just a normal cycle. And then in 1950s we created the first plastic. 1950s, which is only 60 years, 70 years, however, whichever year it was, it doesn't matter. So, but it's a short period of time when we introduced plastic into our packaging. And yet, imagine what's happening now. Most of you probably know, because you're already searching for that stuff. So you probably know what's happening to the environment because of the plastic. But you can imagine that for those 60, 70 years, we have produced 83 million 100 metric tons of plastic. It's unbelievable amount, and that's obviously that's just that's not based on facts. That's just assessment in theory how much we manufacture depending on the years, and only 9% of that plastic is recycled. 9% of that plastic is recycled. And you know what's happening. How long does it take for degradation of the plastic? It's a huge amount of time. So for example, the plastic bag takes 10 to 20 years. Plastic bottle is what, 200 to to 400 years, something like that. I'm not great with facts, so you can always check some research if you want. On some of my videos, I will actually post some links to the research as well. So what scientists are finding out at the moment, that microplastic, so the small particles of plastic when it starts to degrade, is absolutely everywhere. And you can find it in our, what is it doing to us? You can find them in our ecosystem. It's killing our ecosystem. It's killing our marine life. It's just, you know, the seas are polluted by the plastic. It's getting into our water, it's getting into our soil, it's getting into our food. It's absolutely everywhere. And it's okay, because, you know, this is the part where the degradation happens. Well, no matter what is going to degrade, the particles of that product will be in the soil, in the water, or wherever we're going to degrade it to. However, what happens is that we start seeing that our bodies start to reject the plastic. Believe it or not, there are actually illnesses, allergies to plastic. You know, our body starts to be so overloaded with plastic that it starts to reject it, because obviously it's so much, and it starts to create an alert, and it starts to create an allergy in our body. So there are people who are actually allergic to plastic. I actually know a live example of a 11-year-old boy who became allergic to plastic. You know, it's actually becoming more common now. So it's actually killing our immune system as well, you know. And it's those, now when they're doing the research, they can actually find BPA and phthalates, which are the chemical ingredients of the plastic, in our blood system, you know. And they are there as which basically, it's normal. If we're eating something containing the plastic, that's what's going to happen. But they can even find it in children, 6-year-old children. You know, it's really overwhelming, and it's really upsetting. And also, when we were talking about this 9% of plastic, which we supposed to, everyone is saying, oh, we should recycle more. But why recycling is not working? Well, first of all, even if we recycle, and when I used to work for the medical device company, I had actually a conversation with one of the engineers from our packaging, who explained me how the recycling works. So, for example, for plastic packaging, you're not going to recycle 100%. Well, you will recycle 100% of the bottle, for example, let's say. But to make a new bottle, you need some percentage of the new material and the old material to make sure that the consistency of the product is the same. So let's say, for the argument's sake, you need 80%, and I don't know the numbers, I'm just making them up, 80% of the old material, 20% of the new. But you're always gonna need the new material. So we're not really stopping the production of the new material of the plastic, we're just reducing it, which is still okay, which is still good. But for example, in the UK, we don't have centers which recycle the plastic. We're actually shipping the plastic to Asia, we're shipping to other countries too, because it's cheaper. Yeah, it's not enough plastic we manufacture to actually invest money into the places where it can be recycled. So we're shipping that to other countries. So what happens then? You're losing the track of that, because how do you know what's going to happen with that? And obviously most of them probably are legitimate, and, you know, everything is being done properly. However, you will have cases where the plastic will just disappear on the way, you know, and it's going to be it's going to end up in the landfill or in the sea or wherever. It's yeah. Last year it was, we were actually doing travel in Asia. We were traveling in Asia, and part of it we did a cruise around the Vietnam, and it was very upsetting because, you know, it was the middle of the day, and I could actually see, we were in the middle of the sea, in the middle of nowhere, and I could see the plastic bottles floating around in the ocean, and it was just such a crazy feeling, you know. Apart that I will never do cruises again. You have to try everything and experience everything to make your own opinion. But, you know, it's about the plastic, and it really did really upset me when I saw that. So anyway, so So it's about, to me, it's not about recycling anymore. It's about reducing and minimize the usage of plastic, because we already have enough material to keep us going for the next God knows how many years to recycle it. Yeah. Now we need to start thinking about how can we reduce the amount of plastic we are using. And what I really want to stress about, not every plastic is bad. But you will have plastic which is more resilient. There is plastic which is saving lives, and we can't disregard that, because I don't think um, life without plastic is possible anymore, because we did create very good things as well. It's not only the plastic which we throw away after one use, but it's also the plastic which saves lives, so we need to think about from different point of views. But as a consumers, we all have to start making decisions what we are buying. And I strongly believe, if we create a demand for products which are environmentally friendly and healthy for us, that will replace the packaging, and that will force companies to think about it, and that will force companies to replace the packaging to environmentally friendly as well. And I know it costs more and it's more effort, but in the long term, that will benefit everyone and everything in our world. And in those short videos, so my idea is to create 21 videos, and that will be like a almost a record of what I have done in my house to reduce the usage of plastic. And that doesn't mean sometimes replacing it, but how can I prolong the usage of plastic as well? Yeah. How can I just not throw away something, but just how can I reuse it, and how can I make the usage longer as well? And so that's what I would like you to do. What I would like to do is to create 21 videos showing you a short ones, just showing you the ideas which I implemented in my own house, because sometimes, it's okay to have this knowledge, and I can bet you that more and more people have this knowledge now. It's just like, okay, so what do I do now? And the other thing which is more important is to any implementation, just don't do everything at once. How I did that, because I was working full time, I was teaching yoga, I had lots of training outside of all of that as well. I really didn't even have time to stop and think about, what am I doing? So what I did, once a month, I implemented one change. Yeah, and it took me almost 2 years to implement everything what I did. However, it's got more, it doesn't put you under pressure that you have to do it. And bear in mind, if we all starting to think about it, the collective pressure will actually create the demand for the new, better, and maybe new design of plastic, which is healthy, but also demand for research and long-term research on the new products or products which are introduced to the market. And I feel really strongly about that, because at the moment everything is about money and making profit instead of thinking about us as the consumers. So let's see how that works, and let me know what you think about it as well. So hopefully on some of them I will find some research, and I will post the links and maybe videos if we have any to whatever. I will try to back it up. But if there aren't any and it's just my own calculations, that's okay too. You just have to go through your own experience as well and see if that affects you in any way. And there is no pressure that you have to do something, but it's just the ideas which I wanted to show you and share really what I have done in my house. And they're really simple, seriously. They didn't impact my lifestyle, they didn't impact anything really. It's just the way my perception has shifted, and the way I'm looking at things is a little bit different. And I think that's what we all have to start doing. We just have to start thinking about the long-term consequences of our choices, because it's not only about the government changing everything, it's about us changing our lifestyle, and not even lifestyle, but our choices. Yeah, so making the new choices for the benefit of everyone and yourself as well, obviously. Okay, and I will see you in the next video. See you later. Bye.